Hi guys, in this video we're gonna start building our new Insta app. So why are we building this Insta app? Because we're gonna learn this React router library of React so that we can learn how to use the client routing the client side. So in here you can see this is my GitHub link for this Insta app. So in here if I just use this login email or password for this Insta app, you can see that we got to the new page, but you can see that I haven't changed the link to some new URL, and I will show you that how can we do this. But first of all, we're gonna see that this is the page. We got this login home page, like profile, user home page. So in here you can see these are the links in here. This is the home page, so that we have this underlink in here. Now if I just click on this explore, you can see that we got to another link, and also you can see this is the explore text, and I haven't made any changes in here. So if I just go back to this link, we just click on it, we got to the home page. Now what React router gives, it's give the dynamically routing, right? So in here if I just click on this brat, you can see that we got to this brat link. As you can see, this is a profile page of these persons. So in here you got to another link. So in here we're gonna just learn about this routing, how can we do this link routing using a React router. And if I just use this logout, and if I just go to internet, and if I just go to logout, we just go back to the login page. And there is one more thing that we can show in here, like if I just click on this some random page, you can see that we go to the 404 page, so it suggests to redirect to login page. So these are all the functionalities we're gonna learn how to build it in our app. So I'm just gonna go to our app in here. Now first of all, what we need the library, right? So what we're gonna install is this React router DOM. So for installing, you can just type in npm I React router DOM. As I have already installed it, so I don't have to, but you can. So in here what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our index.js, and in here what we need from React router DOM component, and the name of the component is browser router, and we will see what's this browser router do. Actually, browser router is simply like it will enhance our this app component to do something bigger, like it gives the functionality to give the routing purposes to this app component. So we're gonna just wrap this app component with this browser router. That's what we're gonna do in this page, in this file. So we have wrapped it, right? And now if we just go to our we're gonna build this app. So in here you can see as you have already installed this React developer tools, and if you don't, just go to your what we call that, this add-ons page, and just use this search bar and just download this React developer tools. Now back to our code. In here you can see this app has been wrapped with this browser router, and it have this router, so that we have these things like history, location, and there are other things are also there. So these, and router provider, so it's providing this app to provide this routing functionality, right? Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna just go to our code, and in here I'm just gonna minimize this command prompt. Now in our app.js, what we need the login page, right? So for login page, what we can do, I have already imported all the SVG files or the assets that we need. You can go to my GitHub repo link and you can just download all the assets that we need for this project. Now what we need import some from the React router DOM, and we need two things from here. We need, first thing is switch and second one is route, and I'm gonna show what these all means, these two things can do. Now if I just use this div and route two things in here, what basically route does, that it will route whatever like route path. This is the part that we gonna give, and the path we can give slash, and for now I'm just gonna render. It gives this render attribute in here. I'm just gonna render this h1 home, and I'm just gonna use it, and route path is equal to slash exp, and I'm gonna render again two things, like I'm going to use h1 exp. Now if I just save it and go to our browser, you can see that we got this home, right? Now if I just go to this slash exp, we got two things, home and exp, but that we don't want it, right? We need only this exp. So by this syntax you can know that this route of path slash go to his home, but slash exp will only go to this exp, but we got two things. So for this purpose, what we need this switch. But if I just use this switch also, it will not be like, it will not give the proper render part. As you can see in here, that we right now also we get this home, and if I just go to this slash exp, then also we got this home, so we don't get this h1 exp. So what's happening here, that whenever this goes to slash, it gets this home, but it doesn't check for another route after that slash exp. So what we need in here, there are two ways of doing things. Like we can do one thing, like we can give this route before this route. Now if I just save it and go to our browser, you can see that we got exp, and if I just go to this one and I just refresh, we got this home, and if I just use exp, we got this explore. So what happens here, like it will go to this slash exp, and if it got exp, then it's better. So if this is the slash and it doesn't got in here, it will go to this. So, and there is one more thing way you can do this. If I just go back to the where it is, now what we can do this, it gives one attribute called exact, and that what it's need in here. So what it does, that if the part is exact this one, then it will render this part, and if the route has this exact exp slash exp, then it will render this part. So if I go to our browser and just refresh it and use again slash, and if I just use slash exp, so this is how it is done in here. So what we need switch for like switching this routing, and we need exact for what the path we need, exactly path what we need for rendering. So yeah, this is the whole picture that we're gonna see in our next all video, but we're gonna learn more about this routing purpose. So that's all. Thanks. Hi guys, in the previous video we have just see the glimpse of this routing functionality that we have done in here. So in here what we are gonna do, we're gonna create a login page. So I have created already a pages folder. In here I'm just gonna create a new login folder, and in login folder I'm just gonna create a new page, a new file that's called login.js. So in the login.js we are just gonna use this import react from React, and React we're gonna use this class component and give the login name like the class name, and extends with react dot component. And in here we're gonna render the JSS syntax in here by using return, and in here I'm gonna use this div tag. In the div tag what we're gonna give this instagram.svg. So we haven't talked about how to import some files in our code. So for the svg file we can do one better way, but I'm just gonna show the general way, like for svg file or image file or jpg file, right? So in here what we can do, we're gonna give this import logo. You can give it like this, import logo from dot dot slash where is the file is kept out, the file location that we need in here. So in here you can give this instagram.svg and use it in an image tag using like this img src equal to, as you can know, this is a variable round, so we have to wrap it into a what we call into a curly braces. So you can give this like this, but as you know that there is a better way of using this for svg file. So what we can do, we can use this react component that React gives and use it like a component. As the name suggests, you can use this React component as a React component. So in here what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a new div and wrap this one into this logo part. Now this is what we need, and next we're gonna just create a new div, and in this div we're gonna use this form tag because we are using the login form, right? So in here we need input tag, and in input tag, what this input tag is for email purpose, and we need this name attribute and give this name as an email, and now give this placeholder, and the placeholder you can give this email. Now as you know, this is a required one, so we're just gonna give this required and use this input tag, input type equal to password, and give the name pwd and placeholder pwd, sorry, password you can give. Now password, now it's also required, so I'm just gonna give this required one. Now also there is one we need, that is called button, and just give it right now the login part. Yeah, so that's what all need. And there's also the on change method that we need, right? So we can give this on change, and also we're gonna submit, right? So we need on submit, and here also we can give on submit. Now I'm just gonna create the handle method for this on change and on submit. So in here handle change and in here, and also the handle submit one. We haven't used it in our render part, but I'm gonna use it. Yeah, now if I just use it here, the methods that we have made. Use it this dot handle submit, and also here also we need this handle submit one. So I'm just gonna use this dot handle submit, and also we need in here also this dot handle change, and also we need in here this dot handle change. So in here handle change we need the state, so I'm just gonna create a state. But before that we have like seen that for creating state we have used constructor, right? There is one other way to creating more efficient way. You can say you can just give this state name inside the class and just create in here an object, and that's how I'm gonna use it here. And yeah, now this is the better way, you can say. Yeah, now in here there's also a better way, like for each changes, for each on change method, do we have to write a new method? No, we don't have to write a new method. We can do only simply one thing, that the state name that you have given here, the same name should be in this name part. Why do we need it? Because in here we're gonna extract event.target, we're gonna extract two things. The first one is name, that's what it is, name in here, email, and the second one is value, that the value that we have like changing the part. Yeah, so in here what we can do, simply this dot set state and use this square bracket. As you know, this is a variable now, and this is a variable and this is an object, so the key is wrapped inside the square bracket, you can say in here, and use this value, right? Now I'm just gonna use export default, because we haven't. So how can we export default? You can use this by using like this. So use this login. Now for now I'm just gonna save it, and in our app.js we don't need this part because we are now building our project. And there's also other way to using this. You can use this component and just give the component name, and the component that we need is login, and it has been imported. Now if I just save it and go to our code, and this we need styling. Yeah, so we're gonna style in the next video, but for now if we just use this test and add the red test, you can see that we need a required purpose that we have given here, and use this part. You can see that it got always refresh out. So preventing this refresh out like you can say defect for our purpose, you can use this handle submit, because we are submitting, right? So because of this the refreshing out is happening. So what we need is event like e.prevent default. This is what we need. Now if we just save it and go to our code, and I'm just gonna go and refresh it again, and I'm just gonna use it test at the rate test and use a test password. You can see that it will not get refreshed. So the first part is done. We have done the login part. In the next video we're gonna style our code and also see more of that. So that's all. Thanks. Hi guys, in this video we're gonna style our this login page. So first of all, what we need a font. So I have used this Open Sans condensed, so I'm gonna use this one. So I'm just gonna embed it and copy this part and go to our code and go to our index.html and just paste in here, and just save it and use this font family for this part. I'm just gonna copy it and go to our index.css, and I'm going to use remove this part and just paste in here. And we're gonna use also this padding will be 0, and the height will be 100 view height, and I'm gonna give this background color of hashtag FAFA. Now this part is done. Now in here we're gonna create a new login style sheet in here. So in login we're gonna create this login.css, and I'm going to use this part so that we can see what we need to do. So I'm just gonna use this import dot slash login dot css. Now in here what we need the class name. I'm just gonna give this class name div logo, div login, just as the component said, so that we can know what's happening, the systematic way to give anything. Now in here we're gonna give this width to maybe 30 and 300 pixel. Yeah, 300 pixel, and height you can give 400 pixel, and the display will be a flex, because flex box is what we need, and the flex direction will be the column part, and the justify content will be spaced evenly. Now we need some margin top for this part, and you can give 10 view height, and for alignment purpose of this part you can give margin to 0 auto, and also the border, what we need border 1 pixel solid. The color you can give hashtag db. There's one more D maybe. Yeah. Now what we need the border radius. We can give border radius to maybe 5 pixel. Now we also need the padding purpose, so we can give the padding can be like 10 pixel. Now in here, in this part, we gonna give this class name of div login logo, and in here I'm just gonna give height to be 50 pixel and width to be 50 pixel, and align self to be center. Now in here for this part we don't have to give anything, we're gonna just give the input part. So in the input tag, what we're gonna give the what we need, the input width to be, you can say 95%, border to be the same as the div login part. So I'm just gonna give hashtag db. Now the padding you can give 5 pixel, and also the margin to be so that there is a space between all the input tag. You can give into pixel 0, and also the border radius you can give border radius to be, you can give 5 pixel. And next part, what we need, the padding has been given. Okay, background color you can give background color same as the body part, you can give hashtag FAFA. Now what we need the box shadow to be none. Box shadow to be none. Now this is what we need. Now we can go to our button part. Now in button what we need the width to be 100%, and margin you can give 5 pixel 0, and the background color you can give darker blue. And also what we need, the font family, right? We also need font family for this part only. We need open that we have given in our index.css, so I'm just gonna copy it and use it here, and also give in here. Now yeah, that's it what we need. Maybe the padding also what we need, so give the padding to be 5 pixel. Yeah, now just save it and maybe go to our browser, then we can see what it looks like. Oh yeah, this look good. Now there's also some things maybe needed, like we haven't like save it, right? We have saved the index.css. Yeah, okay, what we need in here, we can just give this background color of to be white, or if we just save it, now it's look good, right? Now what we need, one more thing, is this login to be like this, to be like font weight to be 600, and also the border to be none. Yeah, this look good. And also the color, yeah, color to be white, and also border radius to be 5 pixel. Maybe 98% is sufficient for this part. Yeah, also maybe you can give this width to be 200 pixel and give this 300 pixel. Now maybe it looks nice, maybe. Yeah, now this can be done by using these parts. You can give 20 pixel, and can now give this part to be 100 pixel. Now if we just save it, yeah, now it's look good. So yeah, that's how the styling has been done for this login page. We're gonna see more about our project in our next video, so thank you. Hi guys, in the previous video we have built the logged in page, but it doesn't do anything, like it doesn't go to the next home page. So we're gonna start building it. So back to our code. In here we're gonna write some code, and I will explain it what it means. Like I am going to give some name is login, right? Is logging to be true. Yeah, what it does, like whenever in here app.js, we're gonna send an attribute called is logged in, such that this app.js has the idea that we have been logged in. So for this we need a class component, because we're gonna create a state. That's why we need a class component. Now I'm just gonna write extends react.component. Now also we need the render method, so that return code also be like we have to copy, cut and paste in here. Now in here what we need, a state, and in state what we need is log to be false for now. Like initially it will be false, so after clicking it on handle submit button, it will be transform to the true. Now what's the name is login, right? Now what happens that component doesn't provide like giving attribute based structure. So what we need a render attribute for this one, such that we can pass some attribute into a component. So that's what I'm doing in here. So I'm going to call this login component, and I'm going to give is login. That's what I have written in here, and is equal to, and I'm going to call a function or a method, you can say. So its name can be anything that you want. I'm going to give handle login. So in here what it does, like handle login, it has the parameter. So for now it's true, that is being sent from this login, and it will be set to the this.set state to is log. So that's what I am doing in here. Now if we just save it, it will not work properly, because what we need extra is a new page, right? So what can we do in here, that we're gonna create a, like we're gonna extract the value of is log from here, from this state. Now in here what we can do, like if not is log, like if it is not logged in, so it will show this component, and if it is logged in, we're gonna show another component in here. So for this I'm going to create a new page for now, just to show you that it will be going to get a new home page. So I'm going to create a new folder called home. In here I'm going to create a new file called home.js. Now in here for now I'm just going to create a import React from React, and also going to give a return, and for now I'm just going to return something called home, right? And also going to export it, export default home. Now if we just save it and go to our app.js, what we need here is to import it, and it has been imported in here, and I'm going to just save it in here, right? Now if we just save it and go to our browser, and this is our local host. Now if we just type in test, and you can see that we have gone to the new page called home page. So that's it, we have created a page, and it's in the same URL. Now what we need is a 404 page, such that whenever we type in any like different name or incorrect name that is not given in our code, it will redirect to the 404 page. So for this I'm going to create a folder called 404 page. In here I'm going to create a new file called 404 page.js, and in here I'm just gonna write import React from React, and also use const, and the name of this function you can give anything. I'm going to give no match, and in here for now I'm going to return, or just say return this div. In here I'm going to give h2 tag, which says 404 page, and p tag, and saying that redirecting to, I'm going to create an span tag. In here I'm going to give login page, right? Now for giving some styling of first of all, and I'm going to give export default no match. So I don't know I have says or not, like we can styling inside the JSX. So how can we do this? We can do this by, you can say that CSS in JS, you can say like that, like we gonna use style equal to two curly braces. Inside it we're gonna give margin top. As you know that it should be a camel case, so I have given the margin top. Oh sorry, we need margin left, right? So margin left of 10 pixel, and in here the span color should be, I'm going to create a new style in here and give the color of Dozer blue, right? This is what we need. Now this page has been made. Now one more thing is required, but first of all just use it in here. So best practices would be that when all the route is failed, then it should it should return this route, this 4-page route, right? So we're gonna just give path equal to a star. This is means all, right? So it will return component, it will return the component called no match. Now if we just save it and go to our page here, and if I just in here, if I just type in anything and go to this login page, but we want to redirect to login page, right? Just whenever we click on it. For this to happen, I'm just going to show you just in the control shift like in console, you can see in here components, and there is this no match. We have the props like history, location and match. So what we need for now is this history props, and in history props what we need is this push method. So let's go to our back to our code, and in here what we're gonna do in our 404 page, we're gonna just extract this history properties and we're gonna use it here. Like whenever we on click, whenever we call this on click method in this one, it's gonna use history dot push and it will push to the home, like in only the slash. Now if we just save it and go to our code, and if we just refresh it again, and if I just use login page, it will redirect to the home, like in the slash page. And I'm just gonna give here cursor to be a pointer so that it will look nice. Now if we just go to our code and just write in here this part, and if I just go to here redirect to login page, you can see that we have been redirected to the login page, right? Now this all things has been done. Now what we need, that whenever we logged in, we need to look like, we need to make our app look nicer. We have to make the header part first of all. So let's begin building the header part in the next video. Thanks. Hi guys, let's build this header in our app. So go to our code, and in here what I'm gonna do, we're gonna just create a new folder in the source folder and give it name as components, because we're gonna create a component, right? We're not gonna create a page. So in here in components we're gonna create the header. So I'm just gonna create a new folder called header. In the header we're gonna create a new file called header.js. Now in here what we're gonna do, we're gonna use import react from react, and in here I'm just going to create this as a functional component and use it. And now in here I'm going to return. So what we need, first of all we need this nav bar tag, and in here we need this svg file, right? So we're gonna import this React component, import React component as logo from dot slash asset slash Instagram dot svg, and also I'm going to import this home svg, right? So I'm just going to create React component as home from dot slash assets slash home dot svg, and also going to import React component as explore from dot slash assets slash explore dot svg. Now this all has been done. Now I'm going to create a new div. In this div I'm going to create a new div again, and in here I'm going to use this logo, and I have created this logo. And now in here what we need as a div, inside a div we need this to link, as you can say. So in here the React Router DOM provides, you can say that it provides its own link, so we can use nav link for this one. Also there is one called link, so I'm going to just use it. I'm going to use this nav link bar. You can say this, that you can use nav link most of the time because it's an enhanced way of seeing the link, you can say. Now here in here nav link 2, it will go to this slash, because with which part you are seeing, that's what it's called. Now in here what we need, we going to give this home part, right? Whenever we click on it, it will going to redirect to the slash part. Now again one more thing we require nav link to this explore. We haven't created, right? But we are gonna create. And in here what we need this explore, and also what we need the button. So I'm just going to create a button and call it logout. For now it's not going to do anything right now. So we have built it, all the things, but what we need to create a CSS for this part so that it will look good. Now I'm just going to create a new CSS in the header folder called header.css. So in here what I'm gonna do, we're gonna just import this CSS file. So in here we need header.css, import header.css. Now in here first of all I'm going to give the styling for nav bar. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna just give the height to be 50 pixel and border is to be 1 pixel solid, and give the stack df. Yeah, this is good. Now in here I'm just going to create a new class name in here, and just going to give the name, what should be named, div header, you can say, and just going to copy it so that we can use it in here. And in here what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to give width of 80% and margin to be 0 auto, so that it will be at the center. Okay, now in here what we need, we have to give the height for this logo part also, right? So I'm just going to give class name to be div logo, you can say, or you can say div svg, because we're gonna write it, use it in many parts. So I'm just gonna use it in here, and also I'm going to use it in here and also in here. So in here div svg to be, you can say, height to be 30 pixel and width to be 30 pixel, and you can say padding to be 5 pixel. And in here what we're gonna do, we're gonna just give 0 and 20 pixel. And also in div header what we need, we're gonna use this display flags, and also the flags direction to be row, and justify content to be space between, and also the align items to be center, so that it will be aligned center. Now what we need for this part, and in here I'm just going to give a styling in here only, just so you can see that we can give in here also. So display to be flags direction to be row, and in here I'm just going to give button a class name, so that I can give any styling for this part. So button header, you can say, in here, and I'm just going to copy it for now and use it here. What we need, okay, just see it what it looks like for now, so then we can see what we can do next. Go to our code, and again redirecting to the login page, test@test.com. oh my, it's not working. Oh, we haven't imported it, right? So we have to import also. So export default header, and where we are gonna use it, we're gonna use it in the home page. So where is the home page? Yeah, this is the home page. Now in here we don't need this thing, we need this part, and we're gonna return and use this div, and in the div what we need the header part. And now if we just use it and go to our code, it's taking some time. Oh wow, it's look good, man. Yeah, it's look good, but what we need to align this part, right? So what I'm gonna do, in our header.css, I'm just gonna give this part to be okay. One thing is there. So what we need in here, that first of all we need height 100%, so that it will tag along with this nav bar. And also one more thing we need here, so it will be align center. We need this align items to be center. And now if we just save it, in our code you can see whenever we test it, and if we just look into it, yeah, it looks good. It's good. Yeah, now in the next video we're gonna see what we can do more about it. So that's all for this video. Thanks. Hi guys, in this video we're gonna learn how to do nesting routing. That's because whenever a user logged out, they don't have to see the pages that belong to the, like whenever user logged in, they can see that only pages, but if they are logged out, they cannot see that page. So for doing this in our code, what we have to do, In this home, as you can see, I'm just going to remove these files for now. In our home.js, what we need, we have to do the routing part. Yeah, so in here what we can do, we use import, and just the same thing that we have done in our app part, we have to use import these components using from React Router DOM. So in here what we can do, we need a header part, so that whenever we if we use switch also, it will remain there. So in here what we need, we're gonna create new components. So first of all, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a new page for it, right? In here what we're gonna create, sorry for the name convention, like I'm just gonna give this new home name, and in here I'm just gonna give new home.js, and we are also gonna create a new page for explore 2. So we're gonna just create a new folder and just give explore, and in here we are just gonna create a new file called explore.js. Now in here I'm just gonna create import react from React, and also going to export it, explore, and write explore, and it's a functional component for now. Oh, it will be this one also. So s2 explore, and export it, export default explore. Now again we are gonna just in new home, for now I'm just gonna use it import react from React, and also use this const part, const new home, and also return. For now I'm just gonna return this s2 tag new home for now, and also export default new home. So back to our home file, what we need route to what we need. In here we need this slash for showing the new home part, and I'm going to use component for now, or maybe it's only needed maybe here. So I'm going to use new home, and okay, sorry, this is not 2, this is wrong, we need part, right? So we need part, and again in here what we need, route part is equal to slash explore, and component name explore, right? Now if we have to use exact for now, exact also, so it knows that what the exact route we need. Now if we just save it, it looks good, right? Now back to our app.js, yeah, it's good. Now if we just go into our code, just remove it and use localhost 3000 again. Now if I just go to test@test.com and test, it's working, right? Now if I just go to this part, it's not working. So why is that? Well, what happens in here in our code, that we have given this exact in here, right? So what happens when it doesn't get this path slash explore, it goes to this 18 number, and that's why no match will occur. So for this to remove, we need this exact to be removed. Now after this also there will be a caveats of it, and we're gonna also remove it. So if I just remove this and go in here and use test@test.com, and you can see this is working. And if I just go in here, okay, this is also working. That's good. Now there is the time for caveat. So what happens, like if I just write in here this part, it will not show the 404 page, and this is not we need, right? Because for this to remove, it has to know that the exact part has been, like, it has been checked, and then it's going to be 18 line number, but we cannot write here exact for now. So for this to, like, we have to tackle it. So for this to taking care of, we have to like use this symbol outside. So what we can do, if not is log, so if it is not logged in, so we can use in here route exact part equal to slash render, and use this line of code in here. So for now I'm just gonna copy it, and we don't need the whole part in here. I'm just gonna remove this part too. Now this will work. Now if I just, now in here I'm just gonna wrap it and use this symbol, and we also need this is2 symbol, and in here we can use this part and use it in here, and we have to remove these parts in here. Yeah, it's look good. Yep, some indentation is required in here. Yeah, that's it. That's what all we need. Now if I just go to our code in here, I'm just gonna remove it, and again localhost 3000. Now if I just go to any page that is not being used, we got the redirection page. And also if I just test@test.com and use it here, it's working, right? But if we can go in our header.js, there is also one thing that I have forgotten to use it. That is, we have to symbolize that what link has been, like which link has been taken care of, right? So what we can do in here, nav link provides some attributes called active class name. It shows that which link is right now active. So basically it's a CSS, you can say. So we're gonna provide the CSS for this one, and in here I'm just gonna use it, and we have given active class name has a class name called active, and just giving border bottom of fire break, and I'm just gonna save it and go to again localhost 3000 and go to our test@test.com, and now it's not working, right? It should work. Oh my, I have done it wrong in here. We have to give 1 pixel solid break, right? Fire break. I have done it wrong. So you can see in here that we got it. Just for okay, we got it. Localhost 3000 test@test.com test. Yeah, we get it. It should look good. No, it's not looking good. So I'm just gonna maybe give some new pixels for it, so we can check in here. This is the part, and I'm just gonna, yeah, this look good, so I'm just gonna do the 2 pixel in here. Now if I just save it, yeah, it's look good. Yep. So that's all in this video. In the next video we're gonna create building our this new home page, so stay tuned. In following videos we're gonna build our new home page using 2 APIs that I have collected, and we are going to build using 2 APIs, and it will be there in your description. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna build out these 2 components. As you can say, these components can use say as a fits, and this component can use say as a suggestion, right? So back to our code. In our new home.js we have to remove this one because we don't need it, and we are gonna create this new div. In this new div we are going to create 2 component, as you know. For now I'm just going to give the name suggestions. We haven't created it, but we are gonna create right now. So it's saying like it has not been made. So in here in components I'm going to create a new folder and says fits, and in here in fits I'm going to create a new file, fits.js. Now in fits.js what we're gonna create, I'm just going to use import react from react and use what we're gonna use. We're gonna use this class component because we are gonna use the API, right? And so class fits extend so that we have the functionality of react.component, that it gives the component did mount method. So in state what we're gonna give, we're gonna just give it fits to be null because there are none, first of all, and also we're gonna use component did mount for getting the data, and also we're gonna use the render method to show the JSS syntax that we're gonna use in here. So return something, and we don't know what to return right now. So in here export default fits. Now in here I'm going to use the async await functionality, so I'm going to use async await and response to const response equal to await, and in our browser we need this https this link, so I'm going to use fetch and use it here, and also use const data equal to response.json to convert into JSON format, and we got the data. You can see in your fits to be right here. So we're gonna just give it fits. Now in here this dot set state to be fits. Now this is done. Now in here what we're gonna give, we're gonna give a new div, and in new div I'm just gonna give that I'm going to extract the fits, right? So in here fits dot equal to this dot state. Now if the fits is null, like it's false, so it will return nothing, or we're just gonna give ampersand. We don't have to write the question or the third if else, you can say. Now in here what we need, we're gonna use fits dot map, and we're gonna map it but there are a whole block of things that we need, right? We don't have to use the attributes for each purposes. So it gives, like, we're gonna spread it all the information inside these feeds, right? And in here what we can do, it shows, it gives like it's gonna spread out all the properties in one, like one element. And in here we are gonna use a new feed component in where we're gonna use this key to distinguish for each feed, and also we're gonna spread all the information inside the feed. We haven't created this feed component, and we're just gonna create it right now. So again, I'm going to create a new folder called feed, and in here a new file called feed.js, and I'm just gonna use import React from React, and we are not going to do anything in here, so I'm just gonna use this functional component in here, and I'm going to return something. For now, what we can do, we're gonna just return the feed, or we're gonna build it. We're gonna just return for now, just saying that s2 feed, right? We're gonna build it, but after some time, after maybe next video, maybe export default feed. Now this is what we need, and in here I'm just gonna import it. This has been imported, we are done. So basically I'm just gonna again clarify what it is. What this is mean that whenever this fits has elements, let's say feed, and I'm just gonna spread out the properties in one element, and in here I'm just gonna pass it through all the elements properties to this feed component. This is what has been done in here. Now back to our new home, I'm just gonna export these feeds in here, and we have also not built this suggestions block. So in our component, right, in our components.js, I'm just gonna create a new folder called suggestions, and also a new file called suggestions.js, and in here also we're gonna need a class component, right, because we're gonna use the component did mount for getting the data of the users. So in here what we need a class, and the class name is the suggestions, and which extends to react.component, and also we need state, and you can see in here users to be null, and also we need component did mount, and it should be asynchronous, and we also need render part, which is gonna return some JS syntax, and we also gonna export default suggestions, and in here I'm just gonna import it using suggestions. Now in our suggestions, in here what we're gonna do, in here, sorry, asynchronous component did mount, we're gonna use const users, so response, right? First we need response, and a user await, use fetch the users, right? So in here I'm just gonna copy this link, back to code. In here I'm just gonna use it, and we're gonna get the users, and we're gonna use await and response.json, and use the this.set state, and use the users. Now again in here we're gonna use this div tag, and also we're gonna use this, we're gonna extract the users, right? I have extracted the users. Now what we need the users. If the users is null, then it will not be run, and if it is true, then I'm gonna create a new user. I'm gonna map it out, users.map, and again same thing we're gonna use this curly braces for each element to be spread out their properties. And in here I'm just gonna give user. User is right. Now in here I'm just gonna create a new user component that I haven't built it, but I'm going to create it right now. And the key should be what? user.id, and also spread out all the information inside the user. Now that's it. This is what we need in here. So again we're gonna create a new components, a new folder, and create a new user folder. In here I'm just gonna create a new file called user. It should be user.js, right? So in here user.js. Now in here I'm just gonna create a component based user, functional component based. So in here const user and use return h2 user, right? I'm also gonna export default user, and just gonna save it in here. And also I'm just gonna import it, the user component, and gonna save it, right? This is all been done. Now just go to our code and just gonna see if it's working or not, and just gonna get it. Oh my, what's happened? Oh yeah, we need here await, right? Because it's asynchronous process. Now back to our code, let's test it that it's working or not. Yep, it's working. We got all the fields, we also got the user, so it seems that it's working. We just have to show all the these images and this block of code, this user, and we're gonna see in the next video. That's all. Thanks. Hi guys, in this video we are gonna try to display images and text in our components and also do the styling. So back to our code. In our code we're gonna start with our new home.js. In here, first of all, what we need, we're gonna create a new home CSS. So new home.css, and in here we're gonna import it /new home.css, and in here I'm gonna give a class name, and the name is div new home, and I'm just going to copy it, the name of the class, and just use it here. And what we need in here, first of all, we need the width of 80%, and also the display flags to be flex, and the direction should be flex direction should be a row, and also margin to be 0 auto so that it will be at the center of the screen. Now once again we need margin top to be a 20 pixel, and we also need the justify content to be space between, right? Yeah, so this part's been done. Now what we need, we're gonna go to this feeds.js. Where the feeds.js? Yeah, this is the feeds.js. Now in here what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a class name here also, or we're just gonna give in here the styling so that you can know how can we do the CSS in JS. You can see in here. So what we need, the width to be 60% of the of the container, and what we also need is display to be a flex. I'm just gonna remove it and just see it what we can do. Display flex and flex direction to be a column so that all the grid, all the feeds to be at the column way. And what we also need, that's it maybe. Yeah, we need some padding too. Yeah, so we need padding of, you can give like 10 pixel. Okay, you need 10 pixel, so it will be a left and right side. So that's it, that's what we need for now. Now back to our feed component. In here we're gonna display two things. Okay, just back to our code. In here, okay, we're gonna get what we're gonna return in here. So if I just go Control Shift K and just go to your component and use this, use this one, and just go to this part, you can see we got these props, outer and download URL. So we need this outer and download URL. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna extract these two properties from the props and just use it here. And just we got the outer and download URL, and now we're gonna display it in here. So we first need this div tag. In the div tag we need a div tag for showing the name, so we can just give it here outer, and again another div, and in here I'm gonna show this image and use it here, image source equal to download URL, and I'm just going to give this all to be like nothing. So that's it, that's what we need. So for now I'm just gonna also create this new file, css for feed.css. So yeah, in here in this feed.js I'm just gonna import this import dot slash feed.css. Now we're gonna just display these two things. So in here I'm just gonna create class name and give the class name is div feed, and just use it in our feed.css. Now the image should look like the displaying should be look like using display flex to be flex direction to be column, right? And we also need in here this div to have a class name, or you can just give the styling So in here the styling should be width of 100% and height to be auto, and in here you can give the image tag to be width of 100% and height to be 100%, and I'm just gonna save it and back to our code, and just going to see what this place should look like. Yeah, it's showing good, right? We have to show more, we have to do more styling in here. So in here display flags, and I'm going to use the border of 1 pixel solid and give the background to be, the border to be hashtag db and and this, yeah, and give the border radius to be 5 pixel and also margin bottom to be 10 pixel and background color to be white. And now if I just save it, let's see it. Yeah, okay. We also give some spacing in here. So in here styling, I'm gonna give this styling. So in here I'm going to give a styling of, okay, I'm going to give the padding of 10 pixel and 2 pixel, and also giving the font weight so that it looks bold of 600, or you can give bold in here. And I'm just gonna save it and again go to our home page. You can see that it looks like the same. Now you can say that this part has been done, and now the only part that is to be done is the suggestions.js, and that will be done in the next video. So that's all. Thanks. Looks like we are almost done to displaying the contents in our home page. In here we just need to show the text of users and username. So in here you can just go to this user and just see what the properties are in there and what we're gonna see or what we're gonna use. We're gonna use this name and this username for our purpose. So in back to code in here, first of all we're gonna create a new div in here, because there's also one called suggestions that we required in here, and just I'm going to use it. And I'm just going to give the styling in this div. So width to be 40%, and I'm going to use the align self to be flex start, because right now it's at the end, that's why. And also to be display flex, and flex direction to be column. So that's what we need in here. And also giving this styling also, we're gonna give the styling in here, and giving the font weight to be bold, and also the color to be silver, and now we're gonna go to the our user.js. In here what we need the name and username, right? Okay, we need name and username, and we're gonna display it here, and I'm going to use this div. Inside the div again I'm going to use the username in here and then name. So in here you can give any tag that you want, but I'm just gonna use with div. And in here, yeah, that's all what we need. And back to this one in here, so yeah, that's all what we need. Yeah, okay, so in here what we need, in here we're gonna use this, just gonna give the styling in here, that's called CSS in JS. So in here I'm going to give the padding to be, let's say 10 pixel 0, and also the height to be 20 pixel. And then again in here what we need, in here what we need again styling font size to be, you can say 2.5 rem. Let's see what happens. Okay, 2.5 rem, and okay, let's give it here. Now again in here what we're gonna give styling, and in here what we're gonna give the font size to be 0.6 rem, and color to be silver, and I'm just gonna save it in here. And also in suggestions in here we're gonna give the margin bottom, right? I'm gonna give the margin bottom to be 10 pixel. That's it what we need in here. Just go to our code and I'll just check it out. Let's see all being done. test@test.com. Oh my, so it doesn't look good. That's because we have to give this spread to be lesser size. So I'm just gonna give it, and just I'm going to check it from here. So just check it here. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this size. What? Yeah, it's look good. So 1.5 rem is good. So I'm just gonna get into user.js 1.5 rem, and we also don't need the full width in here, so we're just gonna give full width to be min content. Now it's there. Now if I just go in there, in here you can see, or you can learn how to do the CSS in JS. So that's why I'm doing this. Now this looks good, right? Yeah, it's look good. Also we're gonna give some padding in here, right? Now back to code number, in suggestion we're gonna give the div some margin left to be, you can say 10 pixel, and just go to your code. Oh my, what's happened? Okay, it's good. test@test.com. Yeah, that's it. So we have done the part what we need in here. In the next video we're gonna see the dynamic part, that whenever we click on this spread it will be linked into some other URL, and the name of the username will be there. So we're gonna see that part in the next video. So that's all. Thanks. Hi guys, in this video we're gonna create dynamic routing. Like whenever we click on this username Brett Internet, you're gonna get new routing and the page, the information that we're gonna send to the page. Now back to our code. In here, user.js, what we need with router component that's provided by the React Router DOM. Why we need it? Because this component doesn't have the routing props like history, location, and match. So that's why this with router provides props like with router, like history, location, and params. Now in here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use this part. In here I'm just gonna give it the history props, and what we can do next is we're gonna give this as a cursor to be a pointer, and also we're gonna use this on click method event, and we're gonna use handle click, our own method that I'm going to create. Now we have seen that we can create our own method in a class component, but we can also create our own component in a functional component. As you can see in here, we can use the const keyword using inside a that's how we can do. And of course, whenever you have the state of this component, then you cannot use by like this, because we haven't got the this keyword. So that's why we can use in here. So I'm just gonna provide the history dot push and use the string interpolation and use it like this, and username. Now if I just save it and go to our browser, you can see that whenever we use test@test.com, and if I just click on it, we can see we got route to the Brett. Now once again, it doesn't provide me anything, yeah, right? Like whenever we route it to, it doesn't give anything. Now what we can do in our code, in our home.js, what we need, just to give this exact, that's what we need first of all, so that the exact can be used in here. Now we need a route with have a part, not the exact, and we can use slash colon username. You can give any name in here, username or any ID, you can give anything. Now I'm just gonna provide the component in here. The component is profile. As you can see that I have created one profile.js, so it doesn't have imported. I'm gonna import it, but first of all just write in here import React from React, and use the const keyword and use the profile and provide return something, and use it like this as to like I haven't provided anything, right? So we will see next what we can do, how to provide something in here. So for now I'm just gonna give it a profile name. So export default profile, why is it always get imported, right? Now if I just go to home, in here if I just write in here, we got profile. Now what we can do, back to our code. Now in here we're just gonna see what happens. Now if we just test it and use this Brett, we can get the profile. Now just one thing required, we have to give the like what are the information that we want to give to this profile page, right? So back to our user.js, what we need in here, that after the part that we have given, we can use something called an object, and in here you can give the names that you want to provide to it. You can use details keyword key and give the name that you want to give, or you can use like this. You can just give the name that you want to give, name, email, and what we call, okay, I haven't given, right? So name, email, and also we're gonna give the username, right? So I'm going to give username. Now if we just save it and back to our code, and also we're gonna see what happens when we click on it. So just get excited for now. So in the components, I'm just gonna go to the breadth, or we're just gonna click it now, and we provide you the profile. In the profile you can see that we have these props, history, location, match, but we cannot see the information that we have provided. So what we can do, in this location there is one state, right? In here you can see that we got the information that we required, right? Email, name, and username. So this is the part that we need to know. So in here in our profile.js, what we can do, we're gonna extract the location, and from the location we're gonna extract the state, right? And in here from the state we can extract the username, email, and name. Now if I just use it here, username, so you can see this is some like extracting part. You can see in here that first of all we got the location. Oh, you can see in here that what we can get location, there is one called state, and after state you can get the username and email and password. So this is called destructuring, you can say. Yeah, so in here username, I'm just gonna extract the username in here, and just back to our code, just minimize this and just gonna test it. And if I just click on brat, you can see that we got the brat, right? Okay, you can see that we got the brat. Now in here if I just go to Antoinette, we also get Antoinette. So now the only one thing is required, we have to display this information. So like we are like going to end this Insta app in maybe 1 to 2 videos. So let's start displaying all the things that we need in here. So in here what we need, first of all we need this div tag, and the div tag we need one more thing, because I have used the assets in here. The assets that we need in here, user.svg. So I'm just gonna import react component as user from //assets /user.svg. Now in here what we can do, we're gonna just give a new div and wrap this user inside it, and we also need a new div. Inside the div we need you can see another div, and in the div we can provide, I'm just gonna copy it because we're gonna provide 3 things in here. First of all we're gonna provide the username, then providing the name and the email. So in here I'm just gonna do the styling in here. So just using the styling, use the style purpose, and just gonna give the width to 80%, margin to 0 auto, and also going to give the styling in here. What is styling we're gonna give? We're gonna give the height to be maybe 200 pixel and width to be 200 pixel, and also going to give, no, that's all, that's what we need maybe. Now in here what we need a styling to be a display flex, and flex direction to be a column, so that it will be a column wise. So yeah, that's what all we need. And yeah, there's one more thing over here we need, that is display to be a flex and flex direction to be a row, and I'm just gonna give this styling to a font size to be of maybe 2.5 rem, and give the styling of it, font weight to be a bold. Yeah, that's it. Maybe just see, look into it, what the picture looks like. Now if we just go into it and just see it, okay, this look good. Now we're just gonna give some margin top, and we're gonna just give also some padding too. So I'm just gonna give the margin top to be maybe 25 pixel, and after that what we need so what we can do here, that we're gonna just remove this part and give the width to be of 40%, and in here we're gonna style it, our SVG file. Now what we're gonna give the width of 150 pixel, and the position to be a relative, and left to be a 50%, and yeah, that's it, that's what we need. Now if we just save it and go to our code and just again test it, and in here you can see that we got the things that the type of things that we need. So this is how we display in here. Now we can just we can also use these links in right purpose. There's also one thing that is to be required. We can see we're gonna finish these things all in the next videos, and when we are gonna click on this Instagram app, it will be redirect to this last one, and also use this logout for logging out from this whole screen and go to the login page. So that's all. Thanks for this video. Thanks. Hi guys, this is the end video for this project. So we're gonna just do some minor changes, like we're gonna create the functionality for logout and just deploy our app. So in here, in our back to code, in here you have to use with router for pushing the slash. So I'm going to use with router in here. So I have imported the with router, and I'm going to use in here. So on click equal to, I'm just going to use history dot boost the slash, and it doesn't have its history because we haven't extracted the history from the props, so I'm just gonna use it history. Now we have to use this logout functionality. Yes, now what happens that we have this logout event in here, but this header belongs to the home, and so the home in the home there is a header, so it provides an attribute to this header.js, and also this home belongs to app.js, so that this upper component can know that is logged to be true or false whenever state changes. So what I have said, like, it's a big word, so I'm just gonna show it. So in here what I can do, we're gonna use on click method, and as you know that we can build our own method inside functional component. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use const handle click and use the handle click and push the changes. So history.push to slash, like if it's on the slash brat, so it will first change to slash and then whatever we wanna do. So in here I'm just, for the sake, I'm just gonna give is logged for now. So what we need is logged to be a false, so I'm just gonna provide this to be a false. Now this is not the end. What we need in here, go to our home.js. In here we have provided this header, right? In here we have give this is logged as an attribute. Now it has a props that should be given to this is logged. So for now I'm just gonna give any name that you want to give. I'm just gonna give a name handle logged. I'm just gonna give any name. You can give any name you want, and I'm just gonna use handle logged, and this handle logged belongs to this app.js, you can say, and it belongs to this home. In here I have provided a handle logged. As you can see that VS Code gives the intelligence that it has a handle logged. Now in here I'm just gonna call this dot, what we gonna call handle login. So this is the part where state management comes handy. So that's why the people learn like Redux and recoil, because we can see that we're gonna have to provide data or attributes or methods again and again to the components, and again inside different components. So this become a data insertion, data injection. So to provide these things we have to learn like Redux, recoil. Now just save it and just going to see that what happens now. Now if I just go to test@test.com and use it, and if I just go to Brad and if I just log out, you can see that we have been logged out, right? So this is all the parts that we need to know, and so the one thing only remains, that we have to deploy it. So just get started to deploy this our app. As you know that we have learned how to deploy it, but I'm just gonna show it again. So first of all what we need first of all use npm install to install gh pages, and if it's done, what we can do in our package.json. So first of all, don't do this. First of all you have to go to your github.com. So I'm just going to go to my github.com, Now in here I'm just gonna create a new app and give the app name that you want to give. I'm just gonna give this Insta app, which already exists in my, so I'm just gonna give Insta repo app. Okay, now I'm just gonna create this repository and just going to copy this link and back to our code. Okay, it's going to install. Let's take time. Okay, see you after some time maybe. Okay, so it has been successfully installed. Now what we need in here, we need the home page name, and as you know, the home page should be http:// the GitHub name, and use github.io and the name of your repo. So Insta repo, what's the name? Insta repo app. Okay, Insta repo app. Now in here, what we need in the script, we need two keys. We need first one pre-deploy, and in here I'm going to run npm run build, and second one is deploy, so that we're gonna run this deploy, and after we are running, it will first pre-deploy, it will run this script, then it will run the deploy script. Now in here, what we need gh hyphen pages -d build. That's all we need. Now just go to your command prompt and just run npm run deploy. So it will take some time, just wait. Hi guys, there is one mistake in here. We first have to use git remote add origin in here. So what we need, we're just gonna link it here, and now you can use npm run deploy. So if we just run it, now it's gonna work. As you can see that it has been successfully deployed. Now I'm just gonna I'm just gonna deploy or use a GitHub repo for this one. So I'm just gonna add it, git add dot, and use git commit dash m to be something. Now it's gonna say something. Now if you just deploy it, I'm just gonna use it, git push origin master. Now it's been deployed out. Now if we just go to our code and just gonna refresh it out, and in here Insta repo app, you can see we got one environment, and just go to it here and just see view deployment. We got the app, but as you can see, this is wrong, right? So why's that? So what's happening in here, that it has a base name, right? In here there is a problem called, whenever this is the base name that we have provided in our in our code, in our app.js, or in here in browser router in index.js. You can see that we haven't provided the base name, because the base name is required here. So it has a base name, and we can give the base name of the link that we have provided, so we're gonna give this slash insta repo app. So our each link will be started from this insta repo app. So now if we just save it and again push it by using npm run deploy, and just gonna use git add dot, that what we have changes in here, and use git commit dash m and push it. And let's go to our browser. In here we're gonna start with the insta app. Now it's working, as you can see. Now it's working, right? Now in our deployment, as you can see that it's working, that our link will be started from this slash insta app by giving in the browser router as a base name of this insta app.